It's Tuesday, August the 17th, 2021. I'm in Kings Canyon National Park to staff their fire tower for several days. We arrived at Sunset Campground just before sunset. Can I get an extra dressing? I was surprised to find that the courtyard had healthy meal options. For dinner tonight, I'm having a garden salad with grilled chicken and raspberry vinaigrette dressing. I said we because my wife and mother-in-law joined me for the first few days of this trip. I normally sleep in the fire tower when working consecutive days, but tonight I'm sleeping here. I'm glad you guys came along on this trip.
Me too.
I know part of it was to see nature, but I think in a way you wanted to make sure I was going to be safe.
Yeah.
And I really think that it actually has done some good to maybe start the healing process, because I feel like I feel better.
Mm-hmm. Being out here in nature and part of it.
Yeah. I don't think people totally appreciate it when they're here. They act like it's an amusement park, and I don't think they stop to smell the trees and just immerse themselves in everything.
Absorb their surroundings.
Exactly.
Just keep moving.
That's all.
No, thank you.
We all went to bed early because of plans to visit Cedar Grove the next morning. I made my way to the fire tower the next day to keep a watchful eye over the forest that I call home. It was my first time being back since the heart attack, and I had a fairly long stretch of 3 days. This is my third year as a fire lookout observer, and I haven't had the chance to call in a smoke report yet. I'm not hoping for a fire, but I'm ready for the challenge if I'm ever tested. Believe it or not, this is my first time eating yogurt. I mean, I've had frozen yogurt, but not like this. I don't think I like it. Maybe I should try a different kind. I guess it's okay when you're stuck on top of a mountain and that's all you have. Sometimes being a fire lookout involves more than just looking for smoke. Today, we're giving a tour to a group of school children. The fire chief started the presentation by speaking about wildfires.
In 1910, there was a series of wildfires that came through, and 78 firefighters were killed trying to put those fires out. And so there was a big push from mostly the Forest Service to extinguish all fires at that point, right? None of it was based on science or anything like that. They just thought wildfire's bad. You know, they didn't have the science we have now and all the history and things that we know now. And so they adopted a policy called the 10 a.m. policy. So from the time the fire started, say 5 in the afternoon or even 12 in the afternoon, they wanted all fires out by 10 a.m. Okay? And at the beginning, that was really successful. Why? And this is when we start suppressing fires. Can you take a guess? Because we were letting Mother Nature clean up the forest on her own before we start putting out the fires. So what do you think happens after 100 years of suppressing fires?
There's a lot of fuel and dead trees and stuff, and so when a fire does come through, it burns a lot more and more hotter and more intense because there's no fuel.
Exactly. What else happens is the tree species that we have here is mostly white fir and cedar and a pine, and then down here we have the sequoias. Well, what happens is when you suppress fire, those white firs, they grow like weeds. And the only thing keeping white firs intact is fire. They don't handle fire very well. So you'll get and this is what happened here. Not so much right there, but you can look out there, all that fir. That's not supposed to be that tight. And we've done some burning in there, and we're going to continue to do some burning. But it creates a really thick, dense, we call it dog hair forest. And it's unhealthy to the other species. It soaks up all the water, and it'll actually kill out some of the other pines. And one other thing it does down in the sequoia grove, it doesn't allow for any seedlings. Seedlings need sunlight, right? And they also, what else do sequoia trees need?
They need fire.
Fire, right.
It's called an Osborne firefinder. Invented in 1923. And we'll get to this, but this is a map of the area. We'll talk about that. And right in the middle, that star is us. That's where we're located. Our job, in essence, is every 15 minutes, we're expected to do a 360 check of everything we can see.
Has the lookout ever been hit by lightning?
I'm sure it has. Yes. Yeah. And we can look down below. If you go down to the base, those copper wires go all the way down and they go out to dissipate things. So yeah. So the idea of that is you're just being isolated off everything. And these are old antique things out off of power lines.
I'm finding it to be quite the challenge to eat heart healthy when away from home. I don't consider myself a picky eater, but I do like food, and some food better than others. I haven't had any trouble coming up with menu items like I thought I would. I am having trouble finding a way to keep the fresh ingredients fresh for the length of time that I need. Tonight I'm making salmon using olive oil and putting it on top of wild rice. I was going to have a cucumber salad, but they didn't survive the journey. What could be better than a nice evening dinner with a sunset view? How about a view of the setting sun, unobscured by smoke? Instead of the setting sun, I watched a few of my favorite YouTube channels about overlanding and went to bed, hoping for clearer skies in the morning.